Welcome to In a Nutshell for Sekiro. Fromsofts has made several games, and I've played them in this order: Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and then Sekiro. This game is absolutely fantastic. I love this game, and I'm going to give my honest opinions on it, especially with Elden Ring's release here in 2022, and people looking back at Fromsoft's previous titles and seeing if they should play. Yes, I honestly think you should play it, but here, let me go through this first. Now, this being a FromSoft game, I'm not going to talk about difficulty or anything else like that. I'm going to touch on a couple different things that I talked about that I absolutely loved. First is going to be how the lore is presented. Out of all the FromSoft games, the lore is front and center with this game. You do have some branching paths, which is perfectly fine, but with FromSoft games, typically your lore is sprinkled throughout random encounters and item descriptions and weapons. It's in the forefront here, which is a positive. Another positive thing with this game is the combat. Oh, I know several people are not going to like this, and to be honest, that's fine. They're allowed to have their opinions, but I loved the combat in this game. I considered it a dance. Those dances, those moves, those block, deflect, counter, all this stuff. Once you get the hang of everything in the game and it clicks for you, it becomes just like doing a waltz, and it is just great. It is just great. Now, it did take me a while to get used to it because I just finished playing Bloodborne, and Bloodborne is a completely different combat style than this is. However, I think you should give this a try. And once you get the dance, you get that dance going, you're going to fall in love with it. Another positive thing I liked about this game is the prosthetic tools, and without spoiling too much, I will say this. You do get a hook shot after certain things happen in the game, but obviously if you're watching this or watching a review, you've played the game or watched someone else play the game. These prosthetic tools can be used in many different ways. In combat, not in combat, to help you get around, so on and so forth. It is great. It is, I think, a breath of fresh air to a FromSoft game. And the atmosphere. Honestly, Bloodborne is the second best with the atmosphere, but Sekiro is nice when you have elements from real life that sort of tie in with it and has a modern take on things and so on and so forth. I do like the lore in this game. It's probably one of the strongest suits, mainly because it doesn't feed you like little crumbs here and there. It's pretty much straightforward. Now, there are some things you can miss if you don't go around and look, but if you stick with where the game tells you, you'll get all the lore needed and you won't be confused by the end of the game. Also, the upgrading system and the idols. I liked both of those things. I think they put the idols in perfect places. The upgrade system is great where, like, literally if you don't want to upgrade, you don't have to. However, in order to upgrade, you have to fight hard enemies and get through those enemies to be able to upgrade your things. Alright, now let's talk about what I didn't like about this game, which you might be like, oh, here we are gonna have another person complain about certain things in the game. You know what? It's okay. It's good. You know what? You're entitled to your opinion. Nobody's making you watch. It's okay. It's alright. Alright. What I didn't like about this game, and no, I'm not gonna talk about the difficulty because it's a FromSoft game. I've seen people with physical disabilities play this game and smash it and do a better job at kicking butt in this game than me personally. For me, it's the jumping while and attacking enemies and so on and so forth. If you're locked onto an enemy, you have to be aware of your surroundings, but there are so many pitfalls in this game that sometimes you just fall in it. Now, honestly, they did combat that by it not being an instant death like in Bloodborne and in the Dark Souls and Demon Souls series. However, that doesn't take away from how sometimes it feels so weird jumping and attacking enemies and doing other things. Being able to go anywhere in the Souls games is something that a lot of people like about it. And just not having one straight path and that's what you go for. However, with this game, it's pretty linear, which honestly I consider that a negative, but it's also a positive as well. But some people like being able to go around and explore. If you want something more straightforward that you can just play through and have a good time with, then yeah, this is for you. There are times, like in Dark Souls 2, where they think, hey, more enemies will just make this area harder. As you progress, you'll start to see certain bosses that you fought become standard enemies, which it's not just a FromSoft problem. Most game devs that happens with, they end up doing that and reusing assets. Honestly, it's probably about saving time and not having to reprogram things. But I find that a drawback, and it's just annoying. It's just annoying. There are certain things that you're told in this game very quickly and on the fly, so you have to pay very close attention to pop-up messages, new moves that you get, and the whole tutorial section of that. Now, I consider that a negative, but that is a remedy that they did take care of with Elden Ring, where you can go back and look at certain messages and stuff in your menu, but here it's not, and not in this game. And last but not least, it's the replayability. Now granted, I had absolute fun with this game, but the way my brain works and everything, because I basically have seen the whole story besides a few branching paths, it's honestly, I don't have a desire to play it anymore. Now there are enemies and bosses I personally haven't fought and stuff like that. However, because it's pretty linear, just like with Bloodborne, I don't have a desire to go through it, because once you know the game and how to get through it, you can smash through this game in a couple hours, or even with glitches you can do it in minutes. There's speedrunners who do this in minutes, which is absolutely nuts. Alright, so that is my nutshell review on Sekiro. Now, I know a lot of people are looking back on other FromSoft games with Elden Ring's release, which is sort of the reason why I'm doing this, but also these are games I've played. I want to get my opinions out there. Whether anyone listens or not is perfectly fine. But if you enjoyed Elden Ring, Demon Souls, any of those, and you've been on the fence about playing Sekiro, honestly, give it a try. Do not go into this game playing it like a Souls game. Just don't. Honestly, it's a solid 9 out of 10. But personally, I gave it a 9.5 out of 10 because of the little negatives. But this is a nice little retrospective of sort. And you know what? This is my experience and everything with it. So, is it totally worth buying? Yeah, especially if you enjoyed Elden Ring. Go get it right now. Just don't play it like Elden Ring. Remember, it's different.